Yes.
Welcome back, Roller Coaster. That was a insanely good set that y'all just got to commentate there. Thanks everyone for being so patient throughout the technical difficulties. We've had a little bit of a night. This is really, I'd say, the most technical difficulties we've had in one night, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It is.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we were still going to see some really good play here, some really exciting stuff. Right off the bat here, you want to take a look at these teams?
Yes, it seems we have double rain. Ambrosia has Kingdra, Politoed, Celesteela, Raichu, Entei, and Rillaboom. And Sir Wilson has Hitmonchan. Oh my god, I just noticed what he has.
Yeah.
He has Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, Hitmontop, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath, and Politoed. So I am, once again, I love Will's team.
Yeah, this is gonna... Oh, we just lost you there. Can we get your audio back? Did I do something?
Okay, I'm unmuted.
There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, so our players are good to go now. Yeah, this is gonna be exciting. Looking right off the bat, I feel like Ambrosio has a bit of an advantage by not being stuck with the mono Chan. Poly-Chan, is that what this team is called? What would you get?
Poly-Chan?
Polymon,
yeah. Polymon's good.
Yeah, Polymon. That's what it's. That's what he named it there. But yeah, or no, I guess yeah, Hitmon. Yeah, Hitmon Poly. I don't know.
I'm curious if Ambrosia decided to go with what defeated them last week and has Meteor Beam on the Celesteela. I would love to see that, but I think the Ambrosia prefers to run like a more defensive, like Leech Seed Celesteela.
Yeah.
Which I'm not entirely sure Will has much answers for.
Yeah, for sure. So we did see last week Ambrosio used the Celesteela as well. It just did not pair up very well against Eric's Celesteela. Running the fully offensive Life Orb set, which is an incredibly good team, and I lost to in the past week as well in a best of 3.
Yes.
I was able to steal a game, which was nice, but yeah, still really threatening team from Eric. So here we see right off the bat, I think we're going to see some interesting things here. We have a Zoom Lens on this Politoed. What does Zoom Lens do again?
Zoom Lens increases the accuracy of certain moves. Wait, it's like Wide Lens, but it's different. I can't remember exactly what it does.
Yeah, I always kind of forget exactly the different zoom versus, or all the different lenses, whether it's the scope lens or wide lens. I think wide lens boosts the accuracy. Zoom lens, I guess we'll find out maybe here. Let's see what this time is.
Let's see. Effects. Boosts the holder's accuracy by 20% against targets that have already moved this turn. Okay, that's how it works. I knew it like increased accuracy, but I couldn't remember exactly how it worked. So it increases your accuracy more than like a wide lens, but you have to be slower.
Yeah, exactly. So here right off the bat, we see from Ambrosio the the Rillaboom plus Kingdra, and then we have the two the two Hitmons here with Hitmontop and Hitmonlee.
Yes. Personally, I know the Kingdra gets access to Hurricane, so something like a Max Airstream looks really good right now. The Intimidate onto the Rillaboom is really good, but something like a switch to Politoed and an Airstream and Hitmonlee. Actually, I don't know the speeds between Hitmonlee and Kingdra. Kingdra might just be faster in general.
Yeah, you're more familiar with Kingdra, I'd say, than anyone else here, as someone who played a lot of that rain in Series 6. But yeah, let's see what this interaction is. I think Hitmonlee is fairly quick. I played against it in a few draft leagues where I had to prep for it, but its base stats are escaping me at the moment, as are most of the Pokemon in the field from Will's side, from Sir Wilson's side here. Outside of the Politoed. I know my Politoed calcs, the rest of them not nearly as much.
Yeah, it's... So yeah, here comes the Politoed, potentially just going to be a Hurricane. Poliwhirl's so cute, just having a good time being on the field. Will actually just goes for a double switch out, getting both the Hitmons out for both the Polys. It's going to be really interesting what that Kingdra chose to attack. My guess would be on the Hitmonlee, because that seems to be the most threatening thing on the field at the moment.
Yeah.
But it easily could have been the Hitmontop.
Yeah, for sure. if it's targeted into that Hitmon-Top from, say, like a max airstream, this Poliwhirl is not, or Poliwrath is really going to not want to take it. I'm fully unfamiliar with my Poliwhirl calc, so please forgive me for not knowing that max airstream does about 50% here. That does set, it does set Ambrosio up next turn for another airstream directly into that Poliwrath, and there are basically no switch-ins for it.
Yeah, definitely. Poliwhirl actually took that airstream a lot better than I thought it would. It's gonna make it kind of difficult because, again, like that Kingdra just threatens a lot of damage against Will's entire team. He has 4 mons that don't want to take airstreams.
Yeah.
And none of them like hit it back very hard.
Yeah, for sure. I think a Helping Hand max airstream here just kind of still might take out even a Dynamax Poliwrath at this point. Not super familiar with how specially defensive Poliwrath is, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough. We do see Sir Wilson in the chat saying, "Geez, what a terrible matchup." The one thing I would argue is that I don't know how many great matchups you got when you're triple water, triple fighting, or quadruple fighting. It's just a lot of overlaps of common weaknesses.
Yeah. The quad flying weakness is not the best. Yeah, it's definitely not the position you want to be in.
Yeah.
Politoed going for the protect, just wants to stay on the field as long as possible, I believe. Kingdra going for max Wormwind. Okay. Into the Poliwhirl, which it does pick up the KO. Pretty good idea, just to avoid anything like a weakness policy. And that also just gets you a KO. Kingdra's like pretty strong. And Max Quake comes out from Poliwhirl to boost its special defense, which with the -1 to attack does no damage.
No kinds of damage at all right there. So like while this Poliwrath here is boosting up its special defense and potentially might tank some hits a little bit better, I'm not sure how much that's really going to help. Even this Hitmonlee, if it were to get an Unburden off, it's going to really struggle against a +1 speed in the rain Kingdra. I don't see it outspeeding in that case. Here, Hitmon-Top comes in for an Intimidate, which does nothing really to these two special attackers here. It does offer Fake Out Pressure, which the only way around that for Ambrosio is going for something like a Helping Hand Max Airstream, which again KOs the partner of Poliwrath, and maybe at this point you just continually KO the partner.
Poliwhirl doesn't look like that scary. It's going to go for a Geyser, and a Helping Hand Geyser in the rain, I imagine, is going to be enough to be a Hitmon-Top. Playing around anything like a Koba Berry, which is like pretty smart. And I like Will just kind of doesn't have like the offensive tools to break through here. He does get to +1 attack, or he gets himself back up to neutral.
Yeah.
But he needs to get KOs pretty quickly to get to the Rillaboom in the back, so that he can take care of it before terrain, or like so he can get Rillaboom out, have terrain in, because I don't think on Dynamax Poliwrath can take a Grassy Glide.
Yeah, and I think at this point Ambrosio is in a pretty safe position to kind of still be able to bring that Rillaboom in after it's short of a double knockout here, which we've seen protect on that Politoed, which feels like probably the safest move for Ambrosio, just to guarantee another turn here of this Grassy Train wearing out before it can come back in and reproc it. So we actually just see, I'm going to guess, a double protect here from both of these Pokemon. Yep.
Yeah, that's really smart. Just stall out the last turn of Max. The combination of like Hurricane and Grassy Glide should just win you the game. I do like that this Poliwrath is getting to +1 attack. I'm very surprised at how little damage it's doing, though.
We saw the item on it. Not really an item that you typically see when you Dynamax, as it doesn't really do anything. There's an interesting tech there from the Hitmonlee going for the close combat to proc its own White Herb and Unburden ability. So interesting potential strategy there from Sir Wilson.
Yeah. You may just kind of have to keep going for it. I feel like just Hurricane, combination of Hurricane. I imagine that like Ambrosia's probably gonna want to switch his Politoed out this turn so it can reset the rain later, or actually switch out the Kingdra. Very interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Into the Celesteela. Is it gonna be a double out or just that? Okay, yeah. Poliwrath goes for a close combat. Just gets. Did that live? It lived.
Focus Sash? Or is
No,
it just
I think it just lived. Yeah, it's just on one.
And Politoed tanks that close combat pretty well. We are going to see an interesting interaction here as... oh wait, actually, you can't proc your own White Herb, that's correct.
Oh, you can't? That's a bummer.
Yeah.
No, you can.
Oh no, okay, there it is. I was like, wait.
Yeah, I was like, because
I was thinking it was like competitive for a second. Yeah, so, and Politoed just goes for the Pair Song, which is, at this point, pretty much a guaranteed win condition.
And the best win condition there is in the world. Even if the Celesteela got KO'd that turn, you just get the Kingdra in, you double protect, you switch in the Rillaboom. God, I love Pair Song.
Yeah.
And now Ambrosia can't lose unless... Yeah, Ambrosia just can't lose at this point.
Yeah, unless somehow Celesteela doesn't have Protect.
I mean, even if Celesteela didn't have Protect, like... I guess if Ambrosia just actively lets these two go down... just double protect. Now,
yeah, now it's pretty sealed.
I'd say like from the beginning, it was impossible for Will to win after that Paris song went off. It would take like a toss to like insane levels that I couldn't even understand. Like Ambrosia would have to just let these two go down, bring in the next two, not protect, miss a Draco Meteor, and yeah, just going for what?
Oh,
could. Okay, well, this gets the double knockout. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is the next turn though. I think it's just one turn left after this though, which with Fake Out on Rillaboom guarantees a win.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine scenarios in which Ambrosia could lose, which would be like missing a Draco Meteor, missing a Hurricane, missing a Muddy Water. Obviously not going for Protect, just in general.
Yeah.
And like U-turning with Rillaboom is it would take Ambrosia like actively trying to lose the game, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. Here it's a pretty safe just Protect from this Kingdra and probably just a Fake Out from the Rillaboom even. Or maybe just go for Grassy Glide for style points and try and pick up one of those KOs without the Pair Song. Maybe get some good defensive calcs.
In a best of 3, it would be smartest to just protect the Kingdra and Grassy Glide with the Rillaboom, so you don't reveal if your Rillaboom has Fake Out or Protect.
Yeah.
Let's see what Ambrosia chooses to go with. Grassy Glide. Yeah. That is the
just into Hitmonlee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was at -1 special defense, close combat into the Kingdra.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, this Poliwrath was also at the -1 defense as well, and super effective, so I guess you know that KOs, so maybe you want to see at -1 does this Hitmon-Top also get KO'd. So here we see Ambrosio go ahead and pick up game number 1. Let me go ahead and update our overlay.
Yes.
This matchup as a whole doesn't really look... I don't know what Sir Wilson's way through this team is. In quad week to flying on any team is incredibly rough. And then on a team that has access to such a great max airstream user. But I think that's kind of a problem for any team in the format. I don't know a team right now that's not running some kind of flying coverage that this team could potentially get.
It'll be interesting to see what Will does to try to like beat the Kingdra lead. Like I said, he did lead. I don't know, like Grassy Glide from Rillaboom just does so much. Also, like I said, Ambrosia played the Pair Song. Like, there's an optimal way to play Pair Song in a best of 3, and it's always good to practice if you're ever using Pair Song to like try to win the Pair Song with revealing as little information as possible.
Yeah. And
because Ambrosia does that, Will does not know if the Rillaboom is Assault Vest, Grassy Seed, Choice Banded. It could be Choice Banded, and a Grassy Glide just KOs the Poliwrath. So that obviously would be suboptimal.
Yeah, for sure. So in this scenario, I don't see any adjustments from Ambrosio. I think those four are probably the best four. Perhaps a Celesteela isn't exactly what you want as your last one. Maybe opting for the Raichu. Not so much as a lightning rod user, but more as a fake out Electro Web kind of user. And we actually see the Entei plus Celesteela lead here as Poliwrath plus Politoed here. We'll go ahead and proc the Swift Swim on this Poliwrath. So it should be the fastest thing on the field here.
Yeah, this is actually really good for Will. He could go for like obviously Max Geyser into the Entei. If I'm Ambrosia though, I would expect that and switch into one of my 3 water resists. So something like doubling the Celesteela could be the right play. But I'm very curious as to how this lead works. I like Ambrosia's rain team a lot. I like rain teams.
Yeah, we see a Max here on turn 1. It's going to be the Beast Ball, so presumably it's going to be the Celesteela.
Max Rockball Celesteela?
Yeah, I think we might just see a Max Rockball Celesteela. The other thing we could see is a Max Flare to change the weather and have Entei do, way less threatened if it's perhaps carrying Protect or something else. So we see the Liquidation into the Celesteela. Does about 35%. Entei goes for
Lava Plume.
Oh my gosh, it's weakness policy. Celesteela here.
Ambrosia took a note from their match against Not Eric.
And he gets the burn on
Poliwrath. He gets the burn. Oh no.
Oh, we see the Icy Wind come in, and it will drop the Celesteela's speed by 1 stage, but I've got a feeling it's coming right back out with this Max Airstream here. KOing that burned Politoed at a little insult to injury. I think after last game where Ambrosio saw that nothing really resists flying on this team. Flying hits 4 Pokemon super effective and 2 neutral.
Beast Boost!
The Beast Boost coming right back out. Gonna continually boost that Pokemon's special attack. So really cool strats here. Some kind of very different stuff, I'll say.
On the plus side, Will has not used his max yet. It's rough though. Man, Lava Plume, Weakness Policy, Celesteela, and Rain. That's really cool.
Like, oh, you want to set the Rain? That's perfectly fine because that will lessen the amount of Weakness Policy self-proc I do here. Yeah, so super interesting play there. Seeing this Helping Hand Max Lightning into the Celesteela, is that going to be enough now that it loses the ability from Iron Fist, right? Is that Hitmon-Can's ability?
Yeah, that's one of the abilities it gets. But I'd say that, like, I don't know. I think it might get the KO. I think he might need a crit, to be honest.
Yeah, and also it's going to come down to what the speed tier orders are. I don't know how fast Hitmon-Can is. I don't know my Hitmon-Can base speed. I know Celesteela is base 61, so it's at neutral right now with the Airstream after the Icy Wind last turn. So now it's in a position where it can... we see the Helping Hand come out first, obviously. So let's see which one's faster here. Ooh.
It's a good max guard.
Yeah.
It's a really good max guard. So even... I'm curious as to what Ambrosia's play around what Will's going for here is. I don't think you take a Helping Hand Max Lightning. Oh, Raichu though. So if Ambrosia brought Raichu, this could be really over. Which, seeing as how Kingdra, it's probably going to be a switch to Raichu this turn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised by that. This being perhaps that max guard just scouting for the electric move, so you don't just make the assumption that it is and catch yourself off guard to something else that could potentially KO. So yeah, if Ambrosio has the Raichu this turn right here, we'll go ahead and kind of seal everything up because I think, we actually see the Celesteela switch out.
So I assume it's going to be a Grassy Glide into Politoed, and that, to me, that means that the Raichu just is not in the back.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like it at this point because Otherwise, Ambrosio would have had a really good play right there. Grassy Glide does 50% to that max Hitmonchan. And this max Lightning here does about 60% to Entei. Given the speed order here, I think that Ambrosio is still pretty safe to... well, I guess now that Grassy Glide won't be going first in this case, so we will get some information about this Rillaboom, presumably, if it decides to stay in. My guess is it probably tries to switch out to regain terrain control.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to switch out the Rillaboom. I don't... How fast is Hitmonchan? I have no idea. Little Mac on stream. Rillaboom switches out. This could be Celesteela, it could be Politoed. Yeah, it is the Celesteela. Because I think that maybe... This is one of those things. I think that's Choice Banded damage, but I kind of don't know exactly what Rillaboom can do to a Hitmonchan.
Yeah. You mean you don't know the Hitmonchan calcs?
I don't know my Hitmonchan out. Sacred Fire misses the Hitmonchan. Wasn't going to do that much in the rain, but the big thing is that it just avoids the burn. And a Knuckle comes into the Entei. I think that got the KO.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think that was actually not necessarily what Sir Wilson wanted. He might have wanted to be hit by that, given the item that's sitting on that Hitmonchan, on that Hitmontop. Having the ability to go ahead and eject button out and reset that Intimidate on something that is more physically oriented.
Yeah. So Kingdra's going to come out. It's going to come down. Will has Fake Out Pressure, which is good, obviously. So you can do something like Fake Out the Kingdra and hit the Celesteela. Celesteela is probably just going to Protect, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't be surprised by a double Protect here. I'm not sure exactly how many turns left for a Rain. I think that this is probably one of the last ones. So if you are going to get a Hurricane off that's guaranteed damage, that is 100% accurate, it's got to happen on this turn. But you also know that Sir Wilson hasn't lost his Politoed yet. So at some point, he's going to have to bring that back in.
Yeah. Fake Out comes out. There's no Protects coming out from the Celesteela or the Kingdra, potentially just going for damage. Close Combat comes out. If this is an Air Slash into Hitmonchan, I think this is going to be it.
Yeah, that -1 special defense here, not going to be helping out. It is Assault Vested, but now it's essentially at neutral as the Air Slash does come out and will be enough to go ahead and pick off that Hitmonchan. So while the Kingdra is now gone, you
Beast
still have a Rillaboom. So yeah, we do see another Beast Boost here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I think that Ambrosia was just playing to a Rillaboom endgame, or maybe like Celesteela just took the close combat. I'm not entirely sure which was which, but I'm honestly kind of surprised not to see like a Protect that turn. It seemed like a pretty easy, just like, okay, let's double Protect this turn.
Yeah, for sure. It seemed like the prioritization was something was going to take out that Hitmonchan. And as long as that Hitmonchan goes down, what's a Hitmontop and a Politoed doing to Rillaboom Celesteela? I think is perhaps the calculation that Ambrosio made was, if I just double the Hitmonchan, then I guarantee knock it out this turn.
Yeah. So just going for like an Air Slash. I think that like, first off, Politoed has to survive a Grass Glide, which I don't think it can. It just goes down. And even if they live that, I think Will has to like crit this close combat onto the Celesteela. Let's see.
No, this Celesteela is really liking to hang around on -1 here, around 1 HP here, as now at -1 SpDef, there's no way this Hitmontop lives the Air Slash, much less the follow-up from Grassy Glide next turn.
But honestly, Will brought that closer than I ever would have if I was given these tools.
For sure, that definitely was closer than I expected coming into it. That's going to wrap up set number 3 here for us.